Hello, imaginary friends, and welcome to the Imaginaries Literary Podcast. So you came up with the concept, you sent the publisher 30,000 words.
Yeah.
What was it like after that? What do you do? What's the next step? Is it, you obviously finished it,
yeah.
but then where do you go? Do you work with an editor? What do you do at that point?
Yeah, so sent it to him. He edited the whole thing.
Paragraph. Margins.
There were a couple proofreaders and kind of critical readers giving input
Sure.
as well, and then it was proofed and typeset and sent to the printer.
How much rewriting did you end up doing?
Not that much, which is kind of weird because I generally write by the seat of my pants. I don't do a lot of plotting, or at least not on paper,
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
But thankfully I usually don't tend to have to write a lot of extra stuff or cut a lot. So whatever's going on, I don't know, it gets the job done.
So you are a pantser then.
Yeah, discovery writer.
There you go. I love that better. Yeah, discovery writer. Like some of my favorite writers are discovery writers, and then I also almost everything that I do is discovery. And this is just personal preference. I feel that if I outline it, if I already know what's going to happen, it's kind of boring a little bit.
It takes away some of your motivation.
It takes away motivation. And then I know a lot of people that feel like, oh, well, I already wrote it. I don't feel like it has to get on the page anymore because it's already on a page.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh, I don't want that to happen to me. And so for me to get it done, I'm just like, a lot of it is word vomit. A lot of it is not great.
Why are you the way that you are?
I'm not in your camp. I am not fantastic on my first draft. So it's, my first draft is all like word vomit, and then second draft. Oh, thank you. And then second draft is when I share it.
Your first drafts lately are wonderful.
Yeah, I always resist the "what is your book about" thing before it's written.
Yes.
It used to drive my wife crazy because she said, "What is it about?" And I said, "If I tell you, I'm not going to want to write it."
Did you at least say Amish?
You know I shun fancy things like electricity.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
So when you're working with an editor, what is that process like? Are they sending you like loads of notes or minimal notes, or what's that like?
It totally depends on the editor. In that case, comments every so often, and then occasionally if there were stylistic things that were wrong or that he noticed, it would be in there as well. So, some editors I've worked with have been very low key. They've been more about, okay, what is your character really looking for here? Like more concept oriented. And some of them really, more hands-on than I might have liked, So, so it depends. It really depends on the editor. And finding the right editor can be a challenge, to find somebody you can really work with. And sometimes you don't have a choice.
Yeah. Have you ever been able to choose an editor on some of your books?
Since I'm indie published now, I pretty much do it all the time, So,
okay.
I'm kind of hybrid. I do have an actual publisher for the Rat books, but when the ones I do on my own, I have an editor I like to use.
So I read the first Rhats book and started the second one. I really enjoyed it. I thought it was great, and it was really, really short.
Yeah, the first one was really short.
And it feels short too, not in a bad way. It just like, oh, I'm done already.
Yeah.
Like, holy moly.
Like it moved quickly.
I thought it had all the right elements in there for sci-fi. I thought it had really cool creatures, and the animals still hold on, even though they're sentient and they have technology and whatever. I feel like they still hold on to their animal characteristics that we know them as.
Yeah.
So like rats are still rats,
right,
and moles are still moles, and I love that. That brings maybe a sense of realism to it, and I felt like
that
that
was on purpose. I definitely did some research on rats. It's like, okay, they don't sweat like we do. They sweat through their toes.
Oh, yes.
Like
That's right.
Or their tails. So you just have to kind of remember they can jump really good. They had a bit of a backstory from the universe I was writing in as well. Had to stick to that as well, so that helped.
I won't have any spoilers or anything, but it's really good. I highly recommend it. Go out and get Rats.
Thank you.
At least book one, and check it out. Read it. Buy it wherever.
Thank you.
It's on Amazon. You can get it Audible or ebook, or do you have hard copy? Did you have a hard copy?
You can get hard copies on Amazon as well.
Well, I love it. I really, really enjoyed it. I like
you.
the choices that were made and the twists. I mean, right in the beginning, there's a shock, and that's why our main character goes on this quest. Right. And I was like, oh wow, here we go. All right, we're on our way. So it was really fun. I had a really good time reading it, and it was like, I think it was an afternoon I read it, and I was like, great. All right. Wow. Okay. I'm gonna get the second one. So I got the second one.
Wow, that means it would take me only, 4 days? Which is still pretty fast.
it would be very fast. I think you could probably sit down
Yeah.
in like 1 or 2 readings.
Yeah, the first one's a novella. It was meant to be short.
Yeah, it's super
kind of a
short.
short intro.
It felt like a book. Like it didn't feel like there are some novellas out there that I read and I'm like, yeah, that should have just been a prologue,
Yeah.
you know. But this actually felt like a real story. Like it had stakes, it had tension, it had good character change. So it was really good. I liked it a lot.
He's the best. Love it.
If I could just ping something that you mentioned and add it to my commentary on the Amish series.
Yeah.
What you're talking about how the rats and the other animals were like true to their character.
Yeah.
And that's why I was able to really dig into the Amish books and feel like it's not silly anymore. Like I'm just in the story. Because like if you compare it to like Abraham Lincoln and Zombies, that one, at some point the character that you know ceases to be themselves in order to fit into the world and
Yeah.
into the concept. But like that never happened in the Amish books.
Awesome.
It wasn't like you dug out this thing and it's tropified and then you just throw it in, you know, now suddenly they're like Arnold Schwarzenegger,
Yeah.
you know?
Yeah.
That never happened.
Right.
Right.
Just to date myself.
That was intentional. That was intentional as well. I mean, I definitely wanted to try to make the Amish characters as close as I could. I knew they wouldn't be perfect,
Of course.
but
Yeah.
you know, I wanted them to kind of
Yeah.
live by their Ornung or what, you know, the rules and stick as close to it as I could to make it feel real. You know, that was the interesting
Yeah.
tension for me, right? Like the Amish and their non-violent.
A local boy kicked me in the butt last week. I just smiled at him and I turned the other cheek.
Obviously, vampires are complete opposite. You know, and that's the interesting
Yeah.
tension.
Right.
You know, and at what point do you kind of challenge your beliefs to like protect your family? You know, if you're
Right.
an Amish guy kind of caught in the middle, you know, what do you do, and at what point do you kind of say, okay, I might have to stop the vampires to save my family.
Well, it's so funny because like vampires, they're all inhuman. Like they don't have humanity in them anymore. And then the Amish
How
are
many do
only
you know,
thinking
Caleb?
too many, too many. I feel like the Amish are all humanitarian because they're like nonviolence.
Right.
It's all about the people and their rights, and so that's such a like diving in deeper, not just thinking, oh, this is a funny title, but actually diving in and being like, oh, well, actually, that's a really interesting
Right.
argument or fight or decision
yeah.
that somebody has to make
Right.
or tension or so it's really cool that it works really
Yeah.
well for you, and I'm excited. I want to check it out.
Yeah,
I'm probably
cool.
gonna go get it.
Yeah,
So
thanks.
that's awesome.
And that's definitely an element of it too. Is like, okay, at what point are these vampires still human? You know, are they?
Right? Yeah.
Do they
Exactly.
still have a soul that we have to worry about? You know, whatever. And so
Right.
I
Right.
think it's interesting. It's just an interesting
Yeah,
dilemma. So
Very interesting. That's awesome. I love it. I'm gonna pick it up, and I highly recommend you pick it up too. Hi. If you want to watch something, watch this, or maybe it's over here. I don't know where it's gonna be, but it's gonna be somewhere.